Today, you will discover the profound mechanisms of psychological defense and social validation, topics that are crucial to understand in your journey towards inner strength. Our insights will empower you to navigate the challenges of life with resilience. If you find value in this content, please support our channel by liking and subscribing. Your support is vital for our growth. Defense mechanisms are psychological strategies brought into play by various entities to cope with reality and to maintain self-image. Sigmund Freud first conceptualized these mechanisms in the early 20th century. They are not conscious processes, but rather automatic responses that the ego uses to deflect the direct confrontation with uncomfortable truths or stress-inducing situations. To understand these mechanisms is to grasp how we mask our vulnerabilities and maintain our composure, and sometimes how we deceive ourselves. One common defense mechanism is repression, which involves pushing distressing thoughts into the unconscious mind. Imagine the mind as a grand library, filled with volumes representing memories and experiences. In the sectioned off, dimly lit corners of this library, there are volumes bound tightly, rarely accessed. These are repressed memories. They do not disappear, but rather remain hidden, influencing behaviors and relationships in subtle and often subconscious ways. Projection is another mechanism where an individual attributes their own unacceptable thoughts or feelings onto someone else. By doing so, they deflect the discomfort from themselves onto others. Picture a mirrored room where one's insecurities and fears are reflected onto the figures around, warping perceptions. This defense tool can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts, as it distorts reality, creating false narratives about the external world based on internal turmoil. Rationalization involves explaining an unacceptable behavior or feeling in a rational or logical manner, avoiding the true reasons for the behavior. It's an intellectual detour, crafting a path that seems reasonable and justifiable even when it isn't. Visualize a grand temple with labyrinth-like corridors representing the mind's effort to rationalize. Each turn leads to another justification, seemingly leading somewhere significant, but ultimately keeping one wandering without true resolution. Understanding this mechanism allows for a more honest introspection, crucial for personal growth and authenticity. The ego serves as the mediator between our base desires and the moral constraints imposed upon us by society. With a role of immense importance, the ego employs defense mechanisms to navigate an often harsh reality. These mechanisms function as psychological strategies, consciously or unconsciously, to protect the mind from stress and anxiety. A primary mechanism is repression, which relegates disturbing thoughts and feelings to the unconscious. This protects the individual from the burden of emotional pain. By pushing unwelcome thoughts into the depths of our psyche, the ego promulgates a facade of calm, although unresolved conflicts simmer beneath the surface. Denial is another potent defense, employed by the ego to refuse accepting aspects of reality that are too painful or threatening. Instead of confronting the truth, the mind chooses to reject its existence. This allows the individual to continue functioning despite the presence of undeniable circumstances. Projection involves attributing our own unacceptable thoughts or feelings to someone else. This mechanism serves to externalize the uncomfortable aspects of oneself, thereby maintaining a sense of integrity and moral semblance. It distorts self-perception, but offers a temporary salve to the wounds of our ego. Another defense mechanism is rationalization, where the ego offers logical but false explanations to justify certain behaviors or feelings. This method allows the individual to hide the true motivations behind their actions, making them more palatable and acceptable to both oneself and others. Displacement redirects emotions or impulses from a threatening target to a less threatening one. This defense mechanism allows the ego to evade the negative consequences of expressing anger or frustration directly, opting instead to transfer these feelings onto something or someone perceived as safer. Lastly, sublimation serves as a mature and advantageous defense mechanism. It involves channeling unacceptable impulses or desires into socially acceptable activities. By doing so, the ego not only defends itself from undesirable urges, but also transforms these urges into constructive endeavors. We've reached the midpoint of our exploration into these significant concepts. Remember, this is not the end. Stay with us for more enlightening content, and do not forget to like and subscribe to help our community grow. Defense mechanisms are psychological strategies employed by individuals to cope with reality and maintain self-image. Understanding these mechanisms is crucial as they can significantly affect our behavior and interactions. Examples include denial, where one refuses to accept reality or facts, and repression, where unwanted thoughts are pushed out of conscious awareness. Sublimation refers to channeling negative impulses into positive activities, while regression involves reverting to behaviors from an earlier stage of development when faced with stress. Denial is often the first response to an uncomfortable truth. Individuals deny the existence of a problem or reality, which can provide temporary relief, but can also lead to greater issues if the denied truth is crucial for personal growth or safety. It can manifest in various forms, such as denying the severity of a personal health issue or rejecting the occurrence of a traumatic event. While it can be adaptive in the short term, prolonged denial can hinder the acceptance and resolution of critical issues. Repression is another frequently utilized defense mechanism where the mind unconsciously pushes threatening or distressing memories, thoughts, or feelings out of conscious awareness. This mechanism allows individuals to avoid feelings of anxiety or guilt, yet these repressed elements can influence behavior and mental health in profound ways. Over time, repressed material can emerge, manifesting as stress, anxiety, or even physical symptoms. Thus, understanding and addressing repressed content is essential for mental well-being. Rationalization is the process by which individuals justify poor behavior or decisions by creating seemingly logical explanations. This helps maintain self-esteem and avoids confronting the less flattering reality of one's actions. For example, a person might rationalize procrastination by claiming they work better under pressure. While rationalization can mitigate immediate feelings of guilt or shame, it ultimately prevents personal accountability and growth, making it vital to cultivate self-awareness to recognize and counteract this mechanism. Projection involves attributing one's unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or impulses to another person. This mechanism serves to protect one's self-identity by displacing internal conflicts. For instance, someone with aggressive tendencies may accuse others of having a hostile nature. Projection can distort reality and impair relationships by fostering misunderstanding and conflict. Recognizing the tendency to project allows for more accurate self-perception and healthier interactions with others. Displacement redirects emotional responses from the true source of distress to a safer substitute target. This can often be seen in situations where an individual, unable to express their anger towards their boss, might instead snap at a family member. Displacement can provide temporary emotional relief, but does not address the underlying issue, potentially leading to ongoing relational problems or personal dissatisfaction. Identifying these patterns and addressing the primary source of distress enhances emotional regulation and interpersonal harmony. In conclusion, understanding common defense mechanisms offers invaluable insights into our subconscious strategies of coping with internal conflicts and external pressures. By recognizing these mechanisms in ourselves, we can cultivate greater mental resilience, lead a more honest and integrated life, and build stronger, more authentic relationships. Embracing self-awareness and addressing our psychological defenses is a vital step towards personal and interpersonal transformation, aligning with the principles of enduring wisdom and inner fortitude. In the vast landscape of human experience, social validation stands as a formidable force. From our earliest days to the present, the desire for approval and acceptance from others shapes much of our behavior. This fundamental need for social validation influences our decisions, behaviors, and self-perception profoundly. To comprehend its impact, one must delve into the very essence of human nature and society. The roots of social validation lie in our evolutionary past. Our ancestors relied on social bonds for survival. Being part of a community offered protection, resources, and shared knowledge. Isolation, on the other hand, often meant peril. This embedded the importance of social approval deep within our psyche, creating a natural inclination to seek validation from our peers. As we transitioned from tribal societies to complex civilizations, this drive for social acceptance persisted, adapting to new social dynamics and structures. However, while social validation can reinforce positive behaviors and contribute to social cohesion, it can also lead to undesirable outcomes. Seeking approval can make individuals compromise their principles and values, eroding their authentic selves. It may lead to actions driven by the desire for external validation rather than intrinsic motivation. The quest for social acceptance can create a perpetual cycle of dependency where self-worth is measured by the opinions of others. The Stoics advocated for detachment from such external validations, emphasizing the importance of inner wisdom and self-reliance. To counteract the potentially harmful effects of social validation, one must cultivate a mindset rooted in Stoicism. This ancient philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting that external judgments lie beyond our influence. By embracing this wisdom, we can build inner resilience and strength, thus rendering the need for external validation less critical. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The opinions of others should not have power over us. Our inner virtue stands as our true measure." Developing self-awareness is the cornerstone of overcoming the need for social validation. Recognizing our natural inclination for approval and questioning its influence on our decisions is vital. Through introspection, meditation, and the practice of self-discipline, we can identify areas where the desire for validation may be compromising our integrity. This enhanced awareness allows us to realign our actions with our true values, fostering authenticity and self-respect. By practicing these Stoic principles, we reclaim our autonomy and fortify our inner strength. Ultimately, the journey towards understanding and mastering social validation is a transformative one. It requires a persistent commitment to self-improvement and the cultivation of inner virtue. By drawing upon Stoic wisdom, young men can harness the power of self-reliance and inner strength, securing resilience against the societal pressures that seek to define their worth. Embracing this timeless philosophy empowers us to carve our path, grounded in authenticity and unwavering in our principles. In the realm of psychological defense mechanisms, we must recognize their inherent purpose, protection. Whether it is denial, projection, or rationalization, these mechanisms serve as shields against discomfort, anxiety, and emotional pain. However, to solely rely on these defenses can lead to a life of avoidance and disconnection, an existence where one does not confront the true nature of their internal world. To understand and balance defense mechanisms with healthy validation, we first need to acknowledge our vulnerabilities. Acceptance of our limitations is a profound Stoic practice that empowers us to face our reality without pretenses. This act of acknowledging our imperfections is a testament of inner strength, not weakness. It opens up the space for genuine validation, a congruence between our internal and external experiences. Validation is fundamentally about recognition, both from within and from society around us. To seek validation, however, should not mean to seek approval blindly. It is about appreciating oneself and allowing that appreciation to resonate through the perceptions of others. True validation stems from a place of self-awareness and self-honesty, forging a stable foundation from which we operate. The pursuit of healthy validation involves a delicate balance. It requires us to share our authentic selves while remaining fortified by our internal compass. We should not abandon our Stoic principles in this pursuit, but rather anchor them deeply within our quest. In doing so, we manage to interpret external affirmations not as essential affirmations of our worth, but as reflections of our ongoing journey towards wisdom and resilience. To balance defense mechanisms with healthy validation, reflection is essential. By examining our reactions and responses, we uncover the triggers and origins of our defensive behavior. Each moment of reflection offers a chance for growth and resilience. We must be willing to probe the depths of our psyche, understanding that fortitude emanates from our ability to face, rather than obscure, our realities. Furthermore, cultivating a community that supports and promotes authentic validation is crucial. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who understand and respect our journey eliminates the need for unnecessary defense mechanisms. In their presence, we can exhibit our vulnerabilities, knowing that they are met with understanding rather than judgment. Such solidarity fortifies our resilience and empowers us to strive toward our Stoic ideals. Ultimately, balancing defense mechanisms with healthy validation is an endeavor rooted in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It calls for a disciplined mind, one that perceives validation not as a fleeting comfort, but as an affirmation of an ongoing, authentic journey. In embracing this balance, we anchor ourselves in resilience, moving steadfastly through the vicissitudes of life with a profound sense of inner strength and purpose. Thank you for investing your time with us today. By understanding these psychological mechanisms, you are better equipped to solidify your resilience and inner strength. If this content has resonated with you, please like and subscribe to further support our channel. Your engagement is immensely important to us.